Hi everybody. An old wise man says, every person eats the yogurt differently. Even though it is simply only yogurt and a spoon need for this act. You just have to put your spoon inside the yogurt, bring it to your mouth and eat it just normal. So making a 3D book cake, also very simple work, but everyone does differently. With all respect to others and others' methods, today I'm going to show you the Yener's way of making three-dimensional book cake, and hoping that you guys will find few useful tricks for your next similar cake. This is what we need to do that. I have 33 by 22 rectangular cake, which is about 50 millimeter height. So I select the mud cake because mud cake allows me to carve very nicely and easily. So you should also take like butter cake, white mud cake or dark mud cake, something that you can carve and it doesn't really melt in the room temperature. I have here a set of roses, which I'm going to show you how I'm going to use it on the cake. And I have normal, just a PVC pipe for rolling the fondant. And I have here white fondant and burgundy fondant and a little bit of royal icing to just make the finishing touches. And I cut a small little cardboard here just to make that the book in the middle, the indentation that between that both sides when the pages are open. And starch and a couple of scrapers. And I have a serrated scraper, which is a zigzag scraper, flat scraper, straight scraper, and I have a comb. Of course, it's a new, it's not used. I only use for cake decorating purpose. I have probably about a kilo ganache. It's not conditioned yet. I don't condition now because it will take some time for me to explain you everything. Till I get there, I will just put it in the microwave when I need it. So my aim is to put this in the microwave for maybe every 15 seconds. I check it, and then as soon as that the ganache is smooth and creamy, it's even almost falling from the spoon, that will be just right condition for me to use it. I have here a long pot. I will fill up with the very hot water, and I have also a long knife because I'm going to carve with sort of like in one action. I'm not going to use carving with small actions, so that's why I use a very long knife. And also it's not serrated because I'm not going to use that back and forwards action for cutting. I'm going to almost push the knife, hot knife, and melt into the cake and then carve it out and use it for somehow to shaping the cake. I'll show you this one later on. Set of knives, ruler, maybe I need it to measure something, and sharp box cutter I need, and pizza roller. It's very useful for cutting straight things. I will use it for cutting the fondant, nice and straight, long pieces. Scissor and my towels always, of course, available, wet and dry. So last thing is I have a text which is printed on the edible sugar page. The text frames are available in the internet. You can choose from hundreds, whatever you wish, and you can place your text inside and you can print out. So if you don't have a sort of like setup that you can print sugar paper, you can also order to your local cake decorator suppliers. There's always available people or other maybe cake shops that printing for you. So that's all what we need. And next thing what I will do, I will start carving my cake. When I look at this cake from side view, it's about 5 centimeter height. So I like to make this carving without creating too much leftovers, almost none. So this is principally like this. That's the size of the cake. It's the height, but not exactly the width. It doesn't matter. I just want to show you how it is. That's the center of the cake. So I'm going to cut halfway through here, little triangular, and turn it this way and stick it here. Same thing over here. Just put it this way here. So there's no loss there. I'm going to create that pages when it's open on the book, it has got this wave kind of thing. So also from center to here, halfway through, and I'm going to carve something here like this, and I'm going to put it in this area, create that. And also do the same thing over here. I'm going to carve this one out and place it here, and maybe just a little bit carve over here out. So this is what I like to do. Okay, then after that, when we're masking, we're going to put in this direction an indentation that we can give these lines on the side. So this area will be darker. I'm going to use actually the same color as the sides will be have burgundy shade on the side. Okay, let's do that. The cake is still cold, so when I remove that cling wrap, nothing comes with that. Almost comes out nice and clean. All right. So my knife is quite hot. Let's do some marking first. When you take out the knife, it's a lot of water on it. Don't clean completely, but just tap it down like this. That's approximately in the middle. All right. So every time you do something, you put your knife back in the water, make it nice and clean. So I like to cut this one. This is done. Turn the other side. Just very slightly curving that piece, and after that we just push this one on here. We're gonna mask this one later on, put some ganache on it, make it nice and smooth. So turn the other side. When you're pushing the knife against your hand, you have to be careful. Don't force too much. This is also done. I like to have a little bit more gap in the middle. Just like this. Place this here. A little bit here. Okay, so the carving is done nicely. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to mask the cake. Masking means that we're going to cover with ganache, get ready for the fondant. All right, let's clean up and do that. For the good quality, I'm going to mask the cake twice. First masking will be quite rough, not to worry about too much of finesse, and then I'm going to push this one with the cling wrap into the shape. I'm going to chill it down and mask it again, because the ganache will always work perfect on the cold surface, which is already ganached before. So I just take I already conditioned my ganache. This is about 1 kilo, and I put 3 times 15 seconds into the microwave every time I mix it. So my glass bowl is very flat on the side. Every time I can grab the ganache with the palette, it's just almost falling like this, that condition. And after that, I can use that side to make it the palette knife clean. So just start from the side first, just like this. Try not to make too much mess on the side. Always take a little bit at a time. As you see, it's not really perfect, but I like to put this in the fridge and make it really nice and cold, and I'm gonna give another thin coat of ganache later on for the final coat. At this stage, show you one trick. Just like I did the crumb coat, I take my cling wrap, relax in the middle, there's a gap. Then use your rundown pusher again. Push everything into the right shape. Back to the fridge for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes was good enough, long enough to get this ganache hardened, so I can peel off this cling wrap very easy, nice and clean. So I put also my ganache into microwave another few seconds, make it a bit more softer. It's just, as you said, it's just like a falling off the spoon. So if the ganache is that soft, if the cream is that cold, the first coat, and then nice and firm, the cake, it will be everything very easy. So second coat actually is much easier because of that soft ganache, cold surface, and you'll see that it will be just perfect. So peel off the cling wrap. This is a very good method to shape the cakes, basically that kind of basic simple shapes like this. This time I will be a little bit more careful, a bit more slower and careful. ganache is a very nice cream. The goodness about this, after you finish the cake, you can leave this cake another day in the room temperature, which is, you must have a nice air conditioned room. It's about, let's say, about 22-23 degrees maximum, and then you can work on it, even that if the decoration takes for some cakes for a couple of days. Alright, now the side is ready, so I'm gonna put some more ganache on top. Not much, just a little bit. This time I'm not going to use any cling wrap. Okay, let's work it out with this one now. First of all, clean the sides nicely. Left to right and right to left. Same thing again. I can feel it. The ganache that I apply now on the surface is nice and dry, nice and actually firmer, so it doesn't really takes too much effort to make it nice. Nice. One more time. Now, as you realize that I make the surface good, sides good, the only thing was left just a little bit of this residue on the side. I'm going to scrape it like this, but I'm going to go this direction. That's it. This one will go in the fridge now again. Then I may just make it just a little touch-ups later on, but it will maybe just a touch with the finger, just get the corners right, that's all. Alright, let's go put it in the fridge and then get ready for the fondant coating. To coat this cake with fondant is quite easy because it's only one layer and quite low, and then the corners also have a little bit of slanting at the side. Doesn't really have too much danger of like corners will be cracked, etc. So the cake is perfectly a must. Actually, you should believe on something very, very important, that your fondant coating will be as good as your last ganache coating. So you make sure that you give a lot of attention to your ganache, to your last masking before fondant, to make the fondant bright. So as you see that this is really, really nicely ganached. So as you see that this in the middle, a little bit of imperfections. You can always touch the cold surface to make it a lot more nicer. So, all right, now I'm going to give a good knead to my fondant. This is about 1.3, 1.35. So after finish, I'll put on the scale and see how much I use. Actually, we have in resources section in our website, there's a fondant calculator. If you give your the thickness of fondant what you like to roll, the measurements of your cake, so you can write down how high and how wide is your cake. So then the calculator will give you exact the amount, including the excess skirt amount. So you will have comfortable amount of fondant to roll that particular cake. Always give a good knead before you start rolling your fondant. So because I'm going to cut the cake in rectangular shape, so I'm going to start from rectangular shape. So that should be enough, this much. So you have a good size. So you have a good surface here on the top, and you have also joining part underneath. So I'm going to push down that part, make some space. After the initial rolling, I will make it upside down. So this is the way how I roll my fondant. My table is plain and flat, so I'm just going to put a bit of starch here and go upside down. So table is actually protecting my fondant. My fondant will be always nice and soft and no dryness or nothing. And I'm going to turn the fondant upside down to coat my cake. Good thing about this PVC pipe, you can actually just drag it like this. It will give the extra push to your fondant to roll it easier. Okay, let's go. Rolling like this. Bring this one here. Now, where the table side going on top now. First thing, to secure the corners. So it doesn't have a kind of little cracks. Little things like this can be always cleaned with a little bit of wet cloth or something, no problem at all. Now, I like to have absolute edges very, very sharp. So to do that, I'm not going to worry about now cutting all those things. I'm going to start pinching the corners. Like this. Just pinch a little bit. like that, and then go slowly with 2 fingers like this. That gives you an edge which is quite sharp. But once your pinching is finished, you have to use that one to make it right. Look at that. Good. Now start again here. See that indentation here? Then use this one to go back to the smooth. Bit of air here underneath. I'm not worried about those little spots because my print coming on top. Okay, now everything's fine, so I just want to cut this one up on the corner. So I'm not cutting all in once, just go a couple of times. Actually, just slicing the fondant in the right direction. That's it, and you have a perfect corner here underneath. Even though I'm going to put the frame around, I still want to do it perfect. Last touch. Now, watch this. This is comb, flexible, and it's got long teeth. So it is actually, if it's the surface not straight, it goes into the areas that it fits exactly with the, so if I push it like an uneven surface like this, every piece will be giving the same kind of pressure. So in this case, because the book on the side is quite straight, we can actually just use it as it is. So I know that in the middle there is coming a triangular piece here, right? I'm going to start like this, just watch that, and now follow that upper line. I could have used this one. That is a kind of zigzag scraper, but I will tear my icing because it's very sharp and very hard. This one is like very soft, flexible, and a round edge. So this one now. Follow the upper line. Done. And this one easy, just go straight. Okay. Just a check. I'm going to remove now this plastic lining, which is protecting the board. Actually, we finished with ganache and all the dirty stuff. So, not dirty, but messy stuff. So, we'll remove it for now. There's a plastic cellophane sheet, which is not glued underneath, just only glued on the corners. And if I cut like this, it will just come off. Later on, just go on the corner here and then just pull it. Okay, all done. First I like to do, this is a little cardboard that I like to create my indentation here. Because that triangle is not realistic because the book is a little bit more roundish like this. So just push it. Make sure you are in the middle. That's it. Done. Also done. That's it. Now, what I like to do, I want to put a little bit of burgundy color here to just get the darkness correct. You can also use black if you want. That's it. All right. Let's do the framing around now. When I say frame, that means book cover. Longest distance is this, so it's long enough. I'm not going to make it too thin because this is a kind of like a thick book. Logically should have a thick cover. I think that's good already. That's the other side. That's better. Alright. Pizza cutter is always good. So I like to do a little bit thinner here. It's about 1 centimeter here, maybe 1.5, and a little bit larger here. So that's the sides. That comes here and there. You can always use, of course, ruler if you like. This side and this side, I'll make it slightly thicker. I would make it a lot thicker if I have more space, but I don't have much, so I will make it a little bit thicker, not too much. Alright, we don't need this. Pull this one here. That's one. I'm not sticking anything because I'm going to pipe around. So I make sure that is touched nicely everywhere. Diagonal cut. Remove that and then place it together. Overlapping and cutting together, it gives me exact edge that fits together. That's it. Now going to clean up and do some piping. As you realize, I cut the stripes which represent the book cover by hand without using ruler. So, but while this icing is still soft, I can use something like this, quite a hard, firm wood. Just push it into the very fine line. Even that is inner part is not straight, but outside will be perfectly straight by just pushing it, because the icing is still soft. It will listen what this wood says. It will be straight. That's it. Okay, done. Now, what I like to do, I want to do my piping now. Royal icing, white. I cut this one. I cut about sort of like not too thin, just about this, and go for straight lines. Just over here, turn a little bit. You see, because I have this guidance, the piping is quite straight. Because I'm holding my hands on the table, I'm just drawing on the table, I have no movement at all. And then also this, the corner, that 90 degree, it gives me exact the touching point. So I just continue with a nice and easy piping here. That little wiggly part here represents that the book cover has got this the folding part on the other side. I'm going to do the same thing again in this part here, inner part. Watch this. I go here, I'm not continue there, I just go a little bit like turning fate here. That's anti-clockwise piping. I'm not going like this, I'm going the other way around. That's it. So now what we have to do, we have to see which side is better. There's always one side is better. So I can see that this is a bit of imperfection here, and then I turn around here. That looks a little bit better, so I'm going to use this one as the front of the book. Here's my print. As you see, that plastic underneath is a lot smaller than what is the sugar part. So, and then this part, which is already printed as a visible part, that I want to have it in the middle of the page. So I actually want to cut that sugar prints in such a way exactly the size of the page, so it becomes itself as a kind of a page, the upper page. I may just cut this one around, put it on, put some piping around, but I think since that I have enough space around here, I'm going to cut it exactly the page, and I'm going to just create that look like the upper page is the one that is sugar print. To do that, first of all, I want to get good measurements. This is a curving a little bit like this, so I want to use this little piece of paper and put it in here, and because it's curly and I cannot measure exactly from the top as a flat ruler, like I cannot measure like this how big is it, so I just place this one in here and then cut this one like that. Okay, this is this way, all right, and if I place this one over here like that, I don't have to be millimetrical, but I want to have the same distance left and right here. So that is one part here, Another one is there. Let me check one more time. That's good. So this is here, and this is there. This one the same. This here, this is there. Alright, now all what we have to do, we have to place that ruler here and make sure that we're not pushing so much that cuts everything and end up in the table. Just cutting the upper sugar part. It's already happened. So you can just remove that a little bit more. That's it. Sometimes these sugar transfer sheets come very thin. You can't do that what I'm doing now with this, because this is nice and firm. It's a good quality, so that is possible. Now next thing is I want to measure this one. This is 23.1, 23.2 here, so I'm going to take 23.2. 23.2, it's end up here. And somewhere around, sort of like, I want to just check these two areas exactly same. 23 point somewhere here, somewhere there. Okay, just cut it now. One here. What was it? 23.2. I have a short memory. 23.2. That's correct. Okay, good. A little bit of water here, just a little bit, and a little bit here. Not too much. That was a little bit too much. I can remove it here now, still. Go a little bit more inwards. Perfect. See, I want to have this one, that sugar paper give me that paper looking feeling. That's really good. So I'm going to start from this side this way. I'm going just a millimeter out so I can see the edge of the paper. Okay, now this kind of old books has a kind of separator in the middle, so people read it and then put this ribbon. Its ribbon is actually comes with the book, so it just you can put wherever you like. I want to do that, and by using that normal, just the gold ribbon here. Comes from top down. Using this side of the, just push this in like this, like that. And have a kind of slant cut here like this. That's nice. Alright, all I have to do now, I'm going to clean up and then start worry about my roses. Where do I put it? How do I arrange it? I'm going to arrange my burgundy roses on this area, and I have to just decide how am I going to do that. So basically the best thing is you organize the roses on somewhere else, and then you can imagine that the positioning of each rose, where do you have to put, instead of just pick up this one from the mixture of roses and putting one by one, try to arrange it. So arrange it somewhere else first. You can actually visualize how this is going to end up. So normally I use white chocolate, especially for vertical conditions. That chocolate will hold the rose on the position, but this is quite flat, so I'm going to just finish it with the royal icing while I'm having this in the hand. Cut a bit more thicker, so I will have a little bit more generous put it in. I like to organize like this. I want to actually create sort of this look. I had one more rose just now. I removed it because it was too much. So this is definitely the 2 rows comes there. You can see the indentation of this, where I'm going to put one here, one there. Push it in gently. Give a bit of like a space, or just like a hold underneath the rose. It gives a kind of like a push down indentation. The rose will stay in the right position. So next one will come here, around here. Push and stays. Next one here. I want you to realize something, that when I'm placing my roses, I'm not putting just side by side. I make sure that just slightly bending sideways, that the rose is actually looking against each other. So like it's actually accumulating in the middle at the lower part, but on the upper part it's going outwards. So next one will be here, I think. Like that. One more. Here. One more here. I want to put one more this direction. So it's a good idea to have a little bit of like off the center. I don't think I need more than that. This too, I just don't want to use it. And the leaf wise also, I'm not going to use so much. So that's a good area here to put one leaf, one small leaf. One here. One there. And maybe one here. that is enough. I don't want to put any more roses or any more leaves. That's already good enough. So all what I like to do, I'm going to put a little bit of branches. Just cut a small one. It looks like the roses are standing on those motifs on the frame. As soon as I turn around, I see that there's one gap in there, which needs to have one more coverage here. I'm gonna push one more, this one. That's it. So it's a good idea to turn around and see every direction. What does it look like? Perfectly all right. I maybe just put one more green leaf here, but I want to make it smaller. Just break it nicely and put it here. That's it. So this is my simple Yener's way method of how to make three-dimensional book cake. This cake can be used for wedding, anniversary, christening, or many other occasions. I think it's quite elegant. I really enjoyed it to show you. I hope you also enjoy and learn something out of it. If you ask me what else, for example, you can also use on the side of the book more gold color. You can use the edible gold and just brush it around. It gives a lot more rustic, a lot more kind of like an antique look of the book. So the other question is, what happens if you don't have that paper sugar transfers? You can do it yourself. Just be brave. What you do, you have to do it somewhere else, not on this book. So you have to plan this everything on a piece of paper, and I will recommend you using really the same design. So this kind of like old book looking style is very nice, and a kind of simple font you can use it, but only the head letters has to be a little bit more decorated. You can use chocolate, of course. The only thing that write on a paper, and then you know that how big is the letters. Make sure that all your text is organized properly in the area, nicely divided, and then as soon as that you done it on the piece of sugar, very thin rolled fondant, and then you're 100% sure it's nice, then you take it out and put it on instead of just trying on this book. It could be happen that you make a little mistake, so you don't have to clean everything, so you just have to write somewhere else and put it on this book after you're sure everything is correct. And also on the side, you make this piping similar to that. Doesn't have to be that complicated. It will be still looks nice. Make sure that this side and this side is very symmetrical. So these roses, not necessary. You can put other flowers or some birds or other decorations. For example, if this cake is a christening cake, can be used like little toys, you know, can be organized accordingly. Also like maybe letter cubes or something on that area. That's all from me guys today. Thank you for watching Yener's Way. God bless you all. You see me on the next one. Bye now.